Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well this evening. Tonight I've got some terrifying possible Skinwalker or unidentified cryptid encounters. Before we get into those encounters, a couple of links I'd like to share with you. First is my Patreon and PayPal link. Now I'm a commercial-free channel, and that helps this channel continue to grow and go. Also, my merch link is in the description. There's some t-shirts and coffee mugs available. And last but not least is my creepypasta channel. That's a channel dedicated just to creepypasta, fan fiction, and scary voice acting. If that's anything that you're into, follow the link below and give it a listen. And with that, guys, let's get on with these possible Skinwalker or unidentified cryptid encounters. Shall we? Our first encounter of the evening, my dad's strange story. I don't know the date, but it was a time ago when he still went hunting with his pals. Basically, he and a friend had their 2 hunting dogs for a trip back in Tennessee wilderness, and they decided to go a little bit further back than normal. After a while, they noticed an old-looking home with the doors and windows boarded up from the outside. As they got closer to the house, my dad noticed the sound of something raising hell inside. The noise was apparently so unnatural, almost like a blender screwing a Yeti, that he had gotten scared and hightailed it out of there. The next day, he went back and found the door torn off the hinges, so he decided whatever was there is gone now and enters the building. It smelled horrid and there was blood splattered everywhere, some fresh, some old. So he left again for about a week. Afterwards, he gets his dog and some pals with guns to go hunt some deer, and the dogs get close to the area where the house was and tear off into the woods going crazy. My dad and friends heard the dogs scream as they ran back. They then heard some sort of sound like before, and they ran and got the fuck out of there. The dogs would never hunt again, and we're talking about dogs that usually fought off bears individually. Please leave a comment below of what you think this cryptid could be. Our second encounter of the evening. I think something from the woods may have impersonated me at a party. Everybody goes to the woods, everyone comes back. I disappeared from the crowd to hurl. While I was gone, people say I did stuff I didn't, then walked off into the woods. I'll start off by saying that this was most likely not a Navajo Skinwalker and is more likely to be the behaviors of a fleshgate or a goat man. I've done my fair amount of reading on all three, the sub, green text, yada yada. Furthermore, this happened in northern Mississippi. Lots of Native American history here, but not much, if any, Navajo. This won't be a big-time spine chiller, but it's weird and stands out in my mind. When this originally happened, I thought absolutely nothing of it. Only once I started reading some things did I connect the dots. So a couple years ago, my cousin, who lives next door to me on our dead-end road, turned 21. He decided to throw a party. Bonfire, beer pong, country music, yuck. You get the idea. We live in a very rural area. To the north, east, and west is mostly nothing but forest for miles. These parts have a few spooky stories, weird noises in the woods and all, but that's about all. Pretty uneventful. So all the friends start to arrive, mostly guys and girls we went to school with, but a few people I didn't know. Grilled food is consumed while drinking alcohol, then more alcohol, beer pong. Then eventually it gets to the point that some are just doing random stupid shit like chopping down trees. Most of the time I'm near my friend, we'll just call Chris, playing guitar. I'm the man when it comes to the guitar, but don't get any appreciation by anyone but him because I'm not into country. I'm also the village lumberjack, and I gave my friend, we'll call Steve, the axe, with which he is stupidly trying to chop down a tree near the damn power lines. All kinds of shits and giggles ensue, and eventually the decision is made to head a little ways into the woods to the homemade swing. Basically, a rope with bicycle handlebars on top of a hill. The part where it gets weird is coming up, so hang in there. Myself and a few other guys walked down the driveway, through the field, and into the woods to the swing. I stopped in the field to collect myself. I was beginning to realize that I was also drunk. I continue to walk to the swing, and when I get there, everyone is there. What the fuck? A few of us guys were in front, and the only ones going out there, I thought. I saw no one pass me. How'd they all get out here? Not the creepy part, though. Just my drunkenness getting the better of me. Dicking around ensues, then we all head back to the house. We're all so drunk we didn't notice an extra person, which I now believe there might have been based on what I find out later. More beer pong and general dicking around, then it hits me. I'm gonna throw up. This is important because this is the only time I was away from everyone. I'm behind the tool shed puking until the dry heaves hit. And they continue for a while. I have no tolerance for alcohol. I drink only 2 or 3 times a year at the absolute most, so a normal Saturday's amount of alcohol for my cousin will damn near destroy me. So I'm sitting there puking and dry heaving and petting my boxer, McMuffin. It is during this time that I am accompanied for a creepy shit to happen. My cousin and friends swear that I came up to them acting all weird, said while they were smoking a joint that it was handed to me, says I took a few puffs and just walked off into the woods acting all weird like. Not very descriptive, I know, but that's all I could get out of them. Never happened. I do not hit joints, never have, and never will. It's not something I'm into. This is what makes me damn sure it wasn't me. I was behind the shed puking and being comforted by McMuffin. After that, I ended up sitting on the porch, then in the house until the night ended. So, like I said, not a big chiller, just something weird that I thought might be something more after finding out about these creatures. My theory is that maybe we got caught in the tension of something when we went into the woods and it followed us back, impersonated me when I left the crowd, acted weird, then went back into the woods. That's the kind of stuff you usually read about in Goatman accounts, so I figured there might have been something about that. Edit. Damn it, this got me to thinking about a couple other weird things. Went out one night to feed Muff, whose enclosure is at the edge of the yard about 40 yards from the house. It's late at night and very dark. While I'm feeding her, my mother opens the door and stands there talking to something she thinks is me. She said she repeatedly called my name, but this thing just walks away into the darkness. Then she sees me with my flashlight coming back to the house and promptly freaks out. My sister saw it on another night in similar circumstances. Another time, my mother and niece saw some sort of creature in the garden behind the house. I can't really remember the description she gave other than it having both human and animal-like features. I just blew it off, thinking they might have been imagining things. Maybe there is something in my woods. Our third encounter of the evening. I don't know what the fuck it was. Help. Hey guys, long story short, my boyfriend actually saw this humanoid creature, and not I, but he did tell me what he saw. My boyfriend and I do this thing where He picks up from work and we stay together at his house, etc. My boyfriend and I stay about 20 to 40 minutes drive from each other. I work in the city between the city he stays in and I stay in. This incident happened on the freeway between our houses. We were on our way to my house when my boyfriend happened to literally scream at me. "What the fuck was that? Did you see that?" I would say this was around 11:45 to 12 a.m. During this ride, we both are sober and we weren't having any sort of conversation, so when he bursted out the question, really got to me. Of course, I didn't see it. I wasn't paying attention to what was on the other side of me. My boyfriend is the type of guy that doesn't believe in any sort of mythical, hybrid, unknown creature. I, on the other hand, am obsessed with reading encounters, sightings, still believing there's actual proof of mermaid existence. So, with that being said, I believe my boyfriend 100%. I thought he was messing with me since he knows I'm into this stuff, but I knew my boyfriend and he wasn't playing. What he described to me was pretty much a humanoid creature. He said it didn't look human, it was crouched down on its knees in front. He said it had pale skin, kinda tight, and looked like it had wings, like a bat. He said he didn't see a face, but he seemed pretty scared by the incident. He didn't want to talk about it after that. I kept pressuring him to tell me more. From what he saw, I've never read or researched anything like he described. If anyone has any info, please leave it in the comment below. I'd love to know more. By the way, if anyone's wondering where this happened, it happened in Southern California, in the middle of the night on a freeway. We just don't see things like that in SoCal. Our fourth and final encounter of the evening. I had a rather odd encounter with some humanoid creature or even spirit possibly just a few nights ago, and I haven't been able to come up with a rational answer to just what I had seen. I suppose I'll start with the story now. It happened just a few nights ago when I was biking home from work. I work the closing shifts for my local Walgreens, so I get off work around 10:30. I live only 30 minutes away by bike from my job, but most of the way home is heavily forested trail, which doesn't have very many streetlights, so it's always pitch black when I'm going home. Well, about 5 minutes-ish into the bike ride going home, I hit the beginning of where the streetlights ended and the darkness begins. And, like I always do, I pull out my phone and turn on the flashlight option so I can illuminate my way home. Well, only a few seconds after I turned it on, I tilted it up for more and froze because I saw this tall, skinny, pale-looking figure for a brief second before it fell into all fours and like the wind was gone into the woods. Shortly after, I started to pedal as fast as I could because I had no clue what it was that I had just seen. When I heard a low screech and whatever it was keeping pace with me, hidden in the woods out of sight. I managed to get out of that area very quickly and didn't see or hear anything after I left the heavily wooded area. But a while later, I caught a scent of what literally smelled like fresh blueberry pancakes or waffles, like as if someone was standing out in the field with a hot plate or just a pan of blueberry waffles or pancakes, which didn't make sense to me as there are no buildings in that area where that scent was, so I figured perhaps whatever it was I had seen was possibly using scents to try to draw me into the fields or woods. Now, I don't know. A few areas around that trail are supposedly haunted. There's a dinner theater that's not far away, but I suppose a haunted water tower in the area as well. and a couple of other places, but I still, no matter what, think I can't rationalize it or debunk it. It couldn't have been a deer because I've talked to people around the area and no one's seen a deer ever in that area. And besides, it was standing on 2 feet when I saw it, like a humanoid. Couldn't have been any other wildlife because the only wildlife I've ever spotted are squirrels and birds. Wow, guys, couple great encounters right there. I just want to apologize for some slip-ups I made tonight. I did an update on my software, my recording software, and it kind of made a mess of things, so I'm kind of getting used to the new software I'm using. Also, my littlest daughter has strep throat, so I'm a little pooped from taking care of her all day today. So I hope you guys enjoyed those encounters, and I'm going to be working on this software problem I'm having, and maybe I can get back to normal. So I hope you guys enjoyed these stories. Please leave some comments below what you guys think these things could be. And with that, guys, have a good night and be safe.